Hello, my scholars. My name is Abiola, and this is my school channel where we are providing solutions to the JAMB CBT past question for the subject physics, the year 2015. Stay with us, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. You're welcome back to my school channel, and in this video segment we are solving questions 21 to 40. So let's start with question 21. Convert 45 degrees Celsius to Kelvin. So when we are moving from the Celsius scale to the Kelvin scale, you add up your Celsius value to 273. So 45 plus 273, that gives us 318. So the correct option here is option A, 318 Kelvin. 22. A member of the crew of a spaceship experiences weightlessness in a space when they do what? Okay, this is when they fall freely from the Earth's gravitational field. Right now there is no force opposing the gravitational force or force of gravity. So while they are on Earth, the Earth's gravitational field, it's pulling everything towards itself. So now there is nothing pulling it towards itself. So it feels, the member feels weightlessness, okay? However, this doesn't change the mass of the body of the member, because mass is the quantity of matter that a body contains, while weight is that gravitational pull. So the correct answer here is option A, okay? A member of the crew of a spaceship experiences weightlessness in a spaceship when they fall freely from the Earth's gravitational field. So option A is very correct. Number 23, radio waves belong to the class of wave whose velocity is about what? Okay, at first we have to identify that radio waves belongs to the class of electromagnetic waves, and when they are traveling through a vacuum, that is one thing they have in common. They travel at the same speed, and that is the speed of light, okay? And that is 300 million meters per second, or 3 times 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second, okay? However, in air, it is a little bit slightly lower than the normal speed. So, but in vacuum, just a standard kind of environment, okay? So radio waves, it belongs to the electromagnetic wave whose velocity generally is about the speed of light, and that is 3 times 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second. So the correct option here is option C. 24. The compressed regions and the spaced out regions in longitudinal waves are referred to as what? These are referred to as compression and rarefaction. In compression, talking about the whole thing here, you're talking about the amplitude, and it's determined by that compression rather, that's the pressure in compression, and the separation in rarefaction. So the compression part is where the particles, okay, they are being packed together, okay, and the rarefaction is where they are well spaced out, okay. So the compressed regions and the spaced out regions in longitude waves are referred to as what? The compression, okay, and the spaced out as rarefaction. So the correct option is option A. 25. At what respective value of A, B, and C would the unit of work, the joule, be dimensionally similar to MA, LB, TC? So join me as we go to the whiteboard. So where work done, okay, equals force times distance, okay? So we are asked to make all of this equals to M raised to power A, L raised to power B, then T raised to power C, okay? So we're asked to find the value of A, B, and C, okay? So we should remember that force equals to mass times acceleration, right? And the dimension for mass is M, all right? That for acceleration is, remember acceleration equals velocity, change in velocity over time, isn't it? And the unit is meter per second square, isn't it, for acceleration? So that is, unit for meter is L, the dimension for meter rather is L, Then seconds is given in time, that is t squared. So I can write this as L t raised to power minus 2. So you can see L t raised to power minus 2. So this A will replace it by L t raised to power minus 2. So join me, we have times L times t raised to power minus 2. Remember distance, that is still length, times L. So how many L do we have? We have 2 L's. So we have m L squared t raised to power minus 2. So m is 1, okay? That means A is 1, B is 2, C is minus 2. So 1, 2, minus 2. Join me as we go back to the screen to point out the correct option. So right here we have 1, 2, and minus 2. So the correct option here is option B. Don't forget that you can get the Myschool mobile app or download the Myschool software. You just have to pay a token of 1,000 naira to get an activation pin for your device. And you have access to thousands of questions offline and as well a simulated JAMB CBT experience. So what are you waiting for? Join me as we solve question 26. The device in which one circuit controls another, especially if the current in the second circuit is large or dangerous. This device is known as relay, okay, in physics, all right? It uses a kind of electromagnetic setup, okay, whereby the small current in one particular circuit is used to manage or control the other one in the other circuit. And in this situation, the second circuit actually contains a larger amount of current or dangerous one. So that device is a relay. To put according to the context of the options given us, we can refer to it as the magnetic relay devices. It uses this, okay, to make this happen. All right, so the correct option here, once again, is option B. So do not forget that you have to hit the like button. Also, click on the subscribe button and tap on bell notifications so you can get informed as soon as we upload the next video clip. 27. Heat transfer in the surrounding without a material medium is possible through what? Okay, conduction, there's heat transfer, but there must be contact. Okay, there is this particular point on position of the material medium. Okay, so there has to be contact for conduction to occur. When you talk about convection, it's about heat transfer. Okay, but the heat can only be transferred when the heated particles they move, all right, from the hotter region to the cooler region. Okay, for instance, when you are boiling water, okay, so the heated ones goes up, okay, the cooler ones they come down, then the process goes on. Then we have option C, radiation, also heat transfer, but without an intervening medium required. Like for instance, the heat reaching us from the sun, there is no medium required. Okay, then expansion is talking about increase in size. Okay, probably this can be linear expansivity, area expansivity, cubic expansivity, increase in size. I can say in this context of heat due to temperature changes. Okay, so the correct option here is option C, without a material medium, so that is radiation. So option C is very correct. 28. Quantities of heat Q can be measured using a container called what? Okay, so now we are looking at the word container. So that container is referred to as a calorimeter. Okay, the calorimeter is just used when you want to transfer or exchange heat between two liquids, all right, and those liquids they have different temperatures. So what we use here is calorimeter. So we are talking about heat gain and heat loss. I believe you are very familiar with those terms. So quantities of heat Q can be measured using a container. Okay, that word container. If we are just talking about heat, all right, I'm talking about temperature barely. When you're talking about temperature, we can use thermometer. So quantities of heat Q can be measured using a container called a calorimeter. The measuring cylinder is used to measure volume of reagents used in the laboratory, your acid, your base, and what have you. So the meter rule is used to measure length. So the correct option here is option C, calorimeter. 29. Lodestone is a natural magnet. It points at what? So when you hang it or you suspend it freely, just like your magnet. We are talking about it. At first, it's a natural magnet, okay? It's a magnetized mineral due to certain processes or reaction in the environment. So, and it has been used for quite some time. So, lodestone is a natural magnet. It points at where it points at the north and the south pole when suspended freely. So, option B is correct. Question 30. What type of electromagnetic radiation can be used to take photographs in the haze? Okay, you're talking about a kind of misty environment that's quite foggy. Okay, so what radiation can you use? That is your infrared rays. It has a longer wavelength compared to light wave. Okay, so that is why it is better to use this. It's, in spite of the pollution or the dust present, it can give you a clearer image. Also, it is used in medicine. It can penetrate the skin. Okay, we call it the infrared photography. It can show you things like the varicose veins or the venous blood, just for you to be able to spot them easily. Also, in dental treatments, you need this kind of photography. So the correct option here is option B for the infrared rays. 31. If a mango fruit dropped at a height of 50 meters, okay, how long does it reach the ground? So take G, that is gravity, okay, acceleration due to gravity, as 10 meters per second squared. So we can use one of the equations of motion, and that is S equals UT plus half GT squared. All right, instead of A, acceleration due to gravity, we are using G. So initial velocity, that's 0, you know that. We are given the time. We're asked to find out the time, right? Then we are given acceleration due to gravity as 10. Then the distance as 50. So let's slot in this value. So we have 50 equals, U is 0, is 0 times T, that is 0. So practically we just have half, okay, times G, which is 10, times T squared. So 2 here 1, 2 here 5. So I have 50 equals 5T squared. All right, so when I divide both sides by 5, okay, so what I have should be 10 equals T squared. So we have to find C, not T squared. So what do we do to eliminate the square? We square root both sides. So T equals square root of 10, and square root of 10 is roughly 3.2 to put it. Yes, 3.2 to put it. So, or 3.17 thereabouts. Yeah, 17 thereabouts. Yes. So let's go back to the board, the screen, to select the correct option rather. So the correct option here is option D. 32. A zinc has a heat capacity of 40 joules per Kelvin. What is the mass of the zinc given that the specific capacity of zinc is 380 joules per kilogram Kelvin? So what we should just remember is that its capacity equals mass times specific heat capacity. Okay, so we are given the heat capacity as 40. Specific heat capacity is given as 380. So what do? Divide both sides by 380, okay? Two here 2, 2 here 19. So M equals to 2 divided by 19, and that should give us 0.1055 yeah, thereabout. So we should have M is roughly 0. When we approximate this, 1. Remember, we are dealing with mass, so that should be in kilogram. So the correct answer is 0.11 kg. Let's go back to the screen to select the correct option. So look through the options provided and you'll find option A, 0.11 kg, as the correct option. 33. If a ball released from a height of 20 meters, how long will it take the ball to reach the ground? So we're talking about time t. So we can still use that equation of motion we used And that is S equals ut plus half gt squared. Okay, so we are given the distance as height of 20 meters. Remember, this is 0, okay? Initial velocity, 0 times t, that is still 0. So we have half times 10, okay, times t squared. So here 1, 2, here 5. So I have 20 equals 5t squared. Dividing both sides by 5, which is the coefficient of t squared, okay? That should be 4. So I have 4 equals t squared. So we have to eliminate the square and get the value for t. So 2 equals, remember the square root of 4 is 2. So t equals 2, that is 2 seconds. So let's go back to the screen to point out the correct option. So look through the options provided and you'll find 2 seconds in option A. So option A is very correct. Question 34. If the velocity ratio of a machine is 5, what is its ratio of x and y? So what is its ratio of x and y? So looking at x and y. So what is x, what is y? We remember that velocity ratio, VR, equals distance moved by effort over distance moved by load. Okay, so this is x and this is y. So I can say VR equals x over y, isn't it? And we are given our VR as 5 equals x over y. So this is 5 over 1. So that means x is 5, y is 1. So x ratio y will be x is 5 ratio 1. So let's go back to the screen to select the correct option. 5 ratio 1, x ratio y. What is x ratio y? So that is 5 ratio 1. So option C is the correct option. 35. If the mechanical advantage of a machine is 4, what is its ratio for load to effort? Okay, so remember that mechanical advantage is load over effort. So MA is load over effort, and we're giving MA as 4 equals load over effort. So this is 4 over 1. Load is 4, effort is 1. So load ratio effort will be 4 ratio 1. So let's go back to the screen to select the correct option. So look through the options provided. We have 4 ratio 0, 1. That's still 1. Okay, so don't be afraid or confused. So the correct option here is option A, 4 ratio 0, 1 or 4 ratio 1. Do not forget that you can ask your questions right now. All you need to do, use the link in the description below, clicking it takes you to the Myschool website where you can ask your questions right now, and our solution providers are going to help you out. So join me as we solve question 36. For a best result using temperature to achieve an accurate measurement, it is best to use what? Okay, so the drag should be between mercury and gas thermometer. Okay, so gas thermometer is used when it comes to accurate measurements. The reason why mercury thermometer is at disadvantage is because at first, you know, it's making this thermometer to have a small range due to the freezing and boiling point of mercury. Then again, you're talking about using a glass, the mercury thermometer. So when there's a change in temperature, the glass also expands, and you can't count on that expansion. So all of this accounts for the small or the level of accuracy that you can't depend on, accuracy in measurement that you can't depend on involving mercury thermometer. So the gas thermometer is okay, is good to go for accurate measurements. So option B is the correct option. It's possible that you have better steps or explanations to any of the questions we have tackled so far. Please, we'd like to know. You just need to use that comment section below, indicate the question number and the solution you'd like to recommend. Number 37. A structural engineer stood on top of a building releasing a light and heavy object to the ground. Which of the following statements is true? Okay, that's the statement. Now you are given a very important statement as well. Neglect air resistance. So if we are asked to neglect air resistance, that is, it is not influential here. So once air resistance is being neglected or is the same thing or in a vacuum, that means both the light and the heavy objects reach the ground at the same time, okay? The air resistance is what actually makes that difference in the time that, okay, the heavier one hits the ground first or the lighter one hits the ground first. But since air resistance is being taken out, is being neglected or is being removed, okay, that tells you that both the light and heavy objects rather reach the ground at the same time. So option A is very correct. 38. If an object whose mass is 3 kg moves in a circular path of a radius 0.7 meters, records a speed at 2 meters per second. Okay, what is the result of the angular velocity? So remember that angular velocity can take different presentation. You can have angular velocity. I can roughly represent it with this. All right. So it can be this theta over t, the angle in radians, then t, or I can have it like this. Based on the question given us, I can have it as linear velocity over radius. Okay, so we are asked to find angular velocity. Remember, the linear velocity given is 2 meters per second over the radius 0.7. Okay, I can write this since we are not working with calculator in our JAMB exam, at least. All right, so that can be 2 divided by 0.7, which means 2 divided by 7 over 10, right? Or 2 times 10 over 7, okay? That is 20 over 7. So I know 21 divided by 7 is 3. So whatever I should be having should be 2 points, something close to, 2 point something, 2 point something. So it's very close to having 3. So let's go back to the board and I'm going to select the correct option. Okay, so we can see all through the options. The closest to what we've just done here is option C for 3, because I know 21 divided 7 is 3. So we're having 20. So it's going to be something very close. I don't want to use the long division method there. So that's why we can just pick it safely that the correct option here is option C. All right, 3. So option C is your correct option. 39. The optical instrument which is suitable for viewing a nearby object is what? That is your microscope. Okay, it magnifies. All right, so I'm talking about your telescope. You know, you use your telescope you want to view the stars, you want to planetary bodies and what have you. The sextant, you use it to determine angle between horizon and celestial bodies. The periscope, you know, you want to see something behind the barrier. Okay, like for instance, you're in an armored vehicle or you are in a submarine, they use the periscope to see things, you know, the arrangement of the mirrors. So the correct option here is option C for microscope. Question 40. The symbol 0, -1, and x used to represent which of the following particles? Okay, this represents an electron. Okay, electrons, they have mass, that's the atomic mass units of 0 and a charge of -1. Proton, mass of 1, charge of +1. Neutron, charge of 0 and mass of 1. Okay, then atoms, you know, they are a balance of the charge of the electrons and the charge of the protons, positive and negative. I know what that gives you. So the correct option here is option C for electrons. We've come to the end of this segment, but there are more segments to come. All you just need to do is for you to hit the like button, also click on the subscribe button, and always tap on bell notifications so you can get informed as soon as we upload the next video segment.